Howdy mates, good afternoon. Here's a part 3 video for New Year's Day. So right now I'm actually visiting a site in Northport, Florida. It is called the Garden of the Five Senses. It's actually my very first time visiting here. I've heard about it through the mangrove chapter of the Florida Native Plant Society. So that's how I really got to find out about this place. And I figured since I was in the area, I was like, might as well make a stop over. And with it being a little breezy out, it's a nice way for me to cool off from my hike that I just came from. But the Garden of the Five Senses is basically like a botanical garden that you would see at the Marie Selby, up in Sarasota. But the Garden of the Five Senses is a much smaller scale. And this garden deals more with the native plants that are in Florida. As opposed to Selby, they get plants that are found worldwide. Now, I actually do know a couple of people who actually do this type of stuff for a living. Shout out to Elizabeth Clark. She's an acquaintance of mine. She's also a friend of my mentor, Garrett Stewart. She actually runs a gardening business. It's a self-employed business, and she essentially goes to people's properties and installs new flower beds and gardens. So I will say to you directly, Elizabeth, thank you for what you provide. Honestly, in the future, I may try looking for a part-time job that involves gardening. Just because I think for me it's very therapeutic. I enjoy it a bunch, and you're also providing a service to the natural world as you're providing wildflowers, grasses, and even trees that provide ecosystem health, or better ecosystem health. Let me rephrase that, because it's just my job right now. It doesn't feel as fulfilling as it should be. But it pays the bills, right? Sometimes you do what you gotta do. But what's neat about this particular garden, from what I've noticed so far, is they have this bamboo right here. Yeah, what's the scariest plant in the world? Bamboo. And particularly, this is called Oldham bamboo. So I will have to say, not all plants that are here are native, but majority of them are, because I'm not really sure if there are any native bamboo in Florida, but I could be wrong. It's just this sign here doesn't really specify if it is. Now, what's particularly neat about the Garden of the Five Senses is they have various wildflowers here. For instance, this talks a bit about an oasis garden. You can find firebush, beauty bush, also known as beautyberry, orange jasmine, and even dune sunflower, which you can see just down here, actually. Yeah, like right here. But these native plants provide an excellent ecosystem service because they attract our pollinators, whether it be butterflies, insects, and even birds. But predominantly, you'll find butterflies here, especially the zebra longwing. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, the zebra longwing is the state butterfly of Florida. in case if you didn't know. But what's so neat about our pollinators is they see another spectrum of colors that we don't see. Do you know what that is? Well, if you thought that it was ultraviolet radiation, you would be correct. It sure is. Since it is violet, that has a very much smaller wavelength that us humans are not capable of seeing, but only pollinators can. We can only see the visible light spectrum. So it's particularly neat about the colors that we see, like on some of these flowers, for instance. It's the only color. So like, okay, let's say the firebush, for example, right? You notice that it's typically red. Well, the thing is, naturally speaking, it isn't red because it's the only color that is not absorbed by light. So in a sense, it could be all the other colors on the spectrum. It just happens to be that red is not the one absorbed by light. Isn't that amazing or what? But the thing is, they call this the Garden of the Five Senses because it deals with our sight, our sense of smell, touch, what we hear, and potentially even taste. But I doubt any of you would really want to taste anything. But yeah, you guys, this is cool. This is a neat garden, I gotta say. Plenty of opportunity to just relax, learn about the native wildflowers, or the vegetation, I should say, and just appreciate it. So, alright, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. You know, me talking about what our native plants can provide for a given ecosystem and why we need them, especially, as opposed to a bunch of green lawns. And the fact that colors are a complex subject too, so it makes it very colorful, as it were. A little play on words there. So, alright, you guys, take care, enjoy your Saturday, and Journey on a Journey is ours. Take care, folks. See ya.